Hi, so this is video 4, and this is going to be a really short one. So I'm just kind of adding more to what I said in the last video. So I'm just going to go over what I said with some examples. So we already discussed formatting conventions and comments in C. So let's just go over that bit quickly. So as you can see, there are two kinds of comments, single line comments with a slash slash and multi-line comments with this. So normally I would use a multi-line comment when I have to sort of explain stuff and isn't like using in like function docs and all that. Usually I'd put them at the start of the file or right before, like right above a function. But you can really use them wherever you want. It's up to you, personal preferences, honestly. So and here are some, reasons for why you should be formatting, because it's easier to read, make stuff, short and concise and all that. And here's an example of a good variable name, right? So in this case, I've used my variable name. It could really be anything, as long as it gets the point across and it sort of is connected to the actual logic behind that variable. It should be fine. Okay, so think of it as like how you would like your code to be if you didn't know what was going on in there and you had to sort of figure out what it meant. So back to the meat and potatoes of the video. So I am going to explain what a code block is, right? So C is a language that uses brackets to sort of isolate code, right? So as you can see, everything between line number 14 and 11 is like one code block. Similarly, if I were to put something inside a function, right? So everything inside this is one code block. So we can usually consider the contents of a code block to be one statement. Okay, so that is a slightly controversial statement, but you can consider it to be one statement, right? So the idea is when we're sort of grouping up code, as in like function code, lines of code, as in functionality, sometimes we want them to we want them to sort of be grouped up to sort of express to the person reading your code that, hey, this group of things is a part of the same functional block, right? So if you look at, as we progress further, you will understand what functions are. So the main function is a function, obviously. You can write your own functions, right? So each function is a code block, right? And you'd also see something called a loop. So there are many kinds of loops, but all kinds of loops are code blocks. And if you look at, and we'll also learn about decision constructs, where we use things like if statements and switch cases to sort of make decisions during runtime. And those two are also code blocks. So the whole idea is block of code can sort of signify that these things are together functionally and make sense together. Okay, you can put code blocks on anything, it'll still compile, but I would suggest not using them way too much. Like I personally don't use code blocks outside of functions, if statements, and loops, right? So you could if you want to, but not exactly suggested. But yeah, that's kind of all there is to it. Yeah, if you just see this in a code base, you know what it is now. Yeah, that's about it. Good luck. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.